Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Biostat Insight. Today we are going to discuss graphical representations. Earlier we had a discussion about graphical data representations. In the part 2 we are going to discuss multiple level of graphs that helps you visualize your data. Pie chart. Pie chart is useful when we have a multiple level of category in the data sets and we want to represent how much observations or how much percentage there in the data set. The specification of pie chart that the total should be 100. So pie chart is a type of graph that represent data in circular graph. So yeah, here we have represent our data in circular graph where the term pie represent the whole and the slice represent the part of the whole and the total should be 100. Now, uses of pie chart. Pie chart would be useful is multiple level of the work like within a business when we want to see the growth and the turnover and profit of the company. When we have a categorical data, we are multiple category like sugar, butter, eggs and flour. We wanted to see the composition of the each category. Then we can use the pie chart to show the performance of a student in a class, or you can see in a single student what the performance in multiple subjects that you can useful. Advantages: display multiple classes data in one chart. You can able to see in the one chart with the multiple classes or multiple category and you can identify the better performance of the data. It helps to providing effective communication tool for even uninformed audience. Yeah, I mean pie chart would be the very useful. If you see in the graph like in this, you can able to see that the butter represent the yellow and the sugar represent the gray, the flour represent the pink and the egg represent the blue. So it is a visual easy understandable graph to the audience. Now what comes with the disadvantage? So disadvantage is first one is we are able to see only the composition of the categories or the form of the category, but we are not able to understand or track it the cause effect and patterns. I mean what is the relationship between these two variables that we can't able to interpret with this graph. It becomes less effective if too many pieces. Yeah, I mean if we have a multiple level of category, for example now we have three category 3 to 4, we are able to easily understand. But if we have a multiple like a 9 to 10 category, then it would be difficult to understand to the audience. Okay, so pie chart is a circular graph chart which divide into slices to illustrate numerical proportion. In the pie chart, the variables should be in categorical variables. This chart shows, for example, in the current graph, we have a different level of the categories. The chart shows the cost of construction of a house where total percentage is 100 and total of the arc measure is should be 360. In the pie chart, central angle area and the arc of each slice is proportion of the quantity and present the represents. Now in this graph you can able to see that the labor 25% will be cost to the labor. So in this pie chart you can able to see the proportion and summary statistics to determine the sizes of the slice. For example, you can create a pie chart that show the cost of house proportion for each category: labor, timber and steel. Like you can use the pie chart to differentiate the cost of construction for the house. The second example where you can see the east and west coast have a sales total with respective of the category. In this graph you can able to see the blue represent the desktop, red represent the laptop, yellow represent the mobile and green represent the software. If you wanted to determine it, then you can see pie chart provide the overview of sales category. Yes. By comparing and contrasting the size of the slice, you can illustrate and relative magnitude of each group. In the pie chart of 5 colors, yellow, green, blue, red, comprises near 4 quarter to total sales types of east and west region. This is the whole demo of the graph. If you wanted to compare, say you can easily see that the yellow are the major part of the both east and west coast, where you can see east coast has compared to longer than the west coast, because east coast the ratio is $20,000, but in the west coast the mobile sales is $70,500. So got it the point? This is a different level of comparison you can do with the help of your understanding. Frequency curve. Frequency curve is the curve where you can see the distribution of your data. Like the histogram, same as the frequency curve, but it is combining the data points through the straight lines. The objective of the frequency curve to eliminate the possible random and fluctuation present in your dataset. The curve is similar to frequency polygon but with a smooth line instead of straight line. Now, advantage. With the help of frequency curve, you can able to see the distribution or the shape of your data to help you detecting the skewnesses, kurtosies in your dataset. But there is a disadvantage. It is not show the exact value of distribution. They can help you to detecting the like it is a positive skewed or negative skewed, or the distribution is plateau, curticulapi, but it is not giving the exact value. What would be the distribution? It gives you the fair idea. So here is the graph. You can able to see there is the symmetric frequency curve. This is a symmetric one where graph divided in two equal halves. So this is the one example. Next, frequency polygon. So as I said earlier, frequency polygon is used to connect the midline of each bar like a histogram. The advantage of frequency polygon, over the histogram is the several frequency polygon can easily be plotted on the same graph on the purpose of comparisons. Now, advantage. It is a smooth continuous representation of your data. It is a visual continuity make it easier for viewers to identify patterns, peaks, valley in the data sets. Disadvantage, it creates difficulty in interpreting small data sets as it appears jagged, irregular, making it difficult to meaningful patterns. As you can see, we can here we are comparing multiple level of the comparison, the larger target and the smaller target in the one graph. Now, here in this graph you can see y-axis represent the number of observation and x-axis represent the pulse rate per minute. And if you can see, so there the pulse rate per minute is higher for the interval 75 to 79. So what is the interpretation is? Interpretation frequency polygon for the resting pulse in healthy volunteers n is 63. Number of observation higher pulse rate per minute at ranges between 75 to 79 interval. Now, line plot. Line plot or line charts. The line chart display the data points that are connected through the lines. It is also known as line plot. As I said earlier, line charts similar to the scatter plot except they are connect data points with lines. The line chart when ordering and joining the data points, the x-axis value highlights meaningful changes and y-axis are the variables. In this graph, like if you can see, use a line plot to the following steps. The following step that we have to follow to plot a line graph. Graphically, x is how a matrix changes as the x value increases. Emphasize trend and patterns. Display main and interaction. With the help of line plot, we can able to easily understand these points. Now, a line graph is useful when you show the change information over a period of time. Yeah, true. If you wanted to see any change over the period of time, you can easily take over through the line graph. As in this graph, you can see x-axis represent the year, y-axis represent the number of observations. So, horizontal axis usually the time scales. The line graph, now it's what is the interpretation here? The changing slope in line segment emphasize changes, trends, patterns. For a single series of data, assess the changes into the line to identify trends and patterns. Here is another example where we have a school enrollment by year and where x-axis represent your number of years and y-axis represent the school enrollment. If you can see in this graph, here is the first they have a increasing order than the normal, or there is no change, and then declined platform. So the interpretation would be the line chart for the school enrollment show a period of growth in the beginning, the plateau in the middle, and the decline in the end. At a glance, you can understand 30 years of enrollment history of the school. Okay, now we are going to discuss, we all are discussing the graph. Now we are comparing with it with the help of the categories. What would be the preference with the help of data type and number of variables? So first is graph representations. If we have a bar graph and we want to compare the categories, then and the number of variables is one or more, type of graph separate and distinct category. If we have, if we want to plot the histogram, then analysis is distribution of data. We can able to see the distribution of data. The subgroup should be a continuous data, number of variables 1, and type of graph continuous data. Frequency curve, the analysis or the frequencies have help you to decide or distribute your frequency. The data should be continuous, number of variable in 1, and type of graph is continuous distribution. In frequency polygon, same as distribution of frequency connected through the line points. The data in continuous, number of variables is 1, and type of graph is continuous distribution. For the box plot, provide you the summary of data distribution, continuous data, one variable should be there, and the type of crop is grouped by categories. In the stem and leaf plot, it gives you the data distribution in the shape. The data should be a continuous scale, number of variables is 1, and it is a univariate data distribution. In this PPT, we discuss only the, we are not discuss on box plot and stem and leaf. We will discuss later. As of now, thanks for watching and be bear with us. We'll connect later. Thank you.